Into let's get the Kai. Let's knock the Kai out. Then we'll get into J Cole. Then we'll get into basket battle, and then we'll be going. So it'll be close to 1 o'clock when we finish this. So we're gonna be kind of pushing the time a little bit. So we might not do basketball today. But we are gonna get this Kai knocked out though. We are gonna do that. We're gonna make sure we keep up with this. So yeah, let's do it. My phone. Just had to make sure no ads pop up right quick.
Alright, so I'm reading Atomic Habits yet again. I'm setting a clock for 30 minutes. Every day I want to start to read more and more. I did not think 20 minutes was enough. That's why we're doing 30 minutes. And I'm reading because I want to improve and articulate myself better. I'm not happy with the way I articulate myself now, and I want to just keep getting better. 30 minutes. Here we go.
And at this point, we basically read Atomic Habits too, goddamn. So if you never read this book before, we reading it with the voiceover of Kai, basically. So if you just tuning in, that's what we're doing. This is not a breakdown. We're literally just here for story time. Not gonna lie to you. So roll you up a joint, stuff you a cone, stuff you a bone, dabskis, whatever you got. Kick back, relax, heat up some food, catch a vibe, and we gonna get stoned and tune into Atomic. You feel me? To the Atomic.
Small habits can make a meaningful difference. Small habits can make a meaningful difference by providing evidence of a new identity. And if a change is meaningful, it actually is big. That's the paradox of making small improvements. Putting this all together, you can see that habits are the path to changing your identity. The most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do. Each time you write, you are a writer. Each time you practice the violin, you're a musician. Each time you start a workout, you are an athlete. Each time you encourage your employees, you are a leader. Each habit not only gets results, but also teaches you something far more important: to trust yourself. You start to believe you can actually accomplish these things when the votes mount up and the evidence begins to change. The story you tell yourself begins to change as well. Of course, it works the opposite way too. Every time you choose to perform a bad habit, is a vote for the identity. The good news is that you don't need to be perfect. In any election, there are going to be votes for both sides. You don't need a unanimous vote to win an election. Damn. You just need a majority. Damn. It doesn't matter if you cast a few votes for bad. Hold on, my bad. Let me put this down a little bit. It doesn't matter. My bad. It doesn't matter if you cast few votes for a bad behavior or an unproductive habit. Your goal is simply to win the majority of the time. Damn. New identities require new evidence. New evidence. If you keep casting the same votes you've always cast, you're going to get the same results you've always had. If nothing changes, nothing is going to change. It is a simple two-step process. Decide the type of person you want to be. 2, provide it to yourself with small wins. First,
let's do this. If we have any small content creators in here, streamers, whoever in here along with me, just like I am, let's gather here, bro. You know what I mean? Once whoever popped in here and chose to stay through watching this with me the whole 30 minutes we gonna watch, you made a decision to keep going with whatever it is you got going on, goddamn. Cause we reading this book and we learning the habits, we learning what we gotta do, and you getting this information, you getting this knowledge. So at this point, you can't say you never was pointed in the direction to start making the change that you felt like you needed to make at whatever time you needed to do it. You goddamn, you feel me?
Decide what you want to be. This holds at any level as an individual as a team, as a community, as a nation, what you want to stand for. What are your principles and values? Who do you wish to become? These are big questions, and many people aren't sure where to begin. But they do know what kind of results they want. To get six pack abs, or to feel less anxious, or to double their salary, that's fine. Start there and work backward from the results you want to. From the results you want to. Slow down, slow down. From the results you want to. Oh my gosh, I always do that. Backward from the results you want to. What? That's fine. Start there and my bad. Start there and work backward from the results you want to the type of person who could get those results. Ask yourself, who is the type of person that could get?
Stop asking yourself, are those the results you want to like get for the person you're trying to be? Type shit. We with you. I got you. I feel you. I'm fucking with you, brother. I'm fucking with you, brother.
That the outcome I want. Who is the type of person that could lose 40 pounds? Who is the type of person that could learn a new language? Who is the type of person that could run a successful startup? For example, who is the type of person who could write this book? It's probably someone who is consistent and reliable. Now your focus shifts from writing a book, outcome based, to being the type of person who is consistent and reliable, identity based. This process can lead to beliefs like, I'm the kind of teacher who stands up for her students. I'm the kind of doctor who gives each patient the time and empathy they need. I'm the kind of manager who advocates for her employees. Once you have a handle on the type of person you want to be, you can begin taking small steps to reinforce your desired identity. I have a friend who lost over 100 pounds by asking herself, what would a healthy person do? All day long, she would use the question as a guide. Would a healthy person walk or take a cab? Would a healthy person order a burrito or a salad? Damn. She figured if she acted like a healthy person long enough, eventually she would become the person. She was right. The concept of identity-based habits is our first introduction to an other key theme in the book. Hold on, I'm reading. You heard? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, better, you know.
I'm not gonna say what came to my mind.
Of the person. The concept of identity-based habits is our first introduction to other key theme in this book. Feedback loops. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your habits. It's a two-way street. The formation of all habits is a feedback loop. But it's important to let your values, principles, and identity drive the loop rather than your results. The focus should always be in becoming the type of person, not getting particularly outcome. The real reason habits matter. Identity change is the north star of habit change. The remainder of this book will provide you with step-by-step instructions on how to build better habits in yourself, your family, your team, your company, and anywhere else you wish. But the true question is, are you becoming the type of person you want to become? The first step is not what or how, but who. You need to know who you want to be. Otherwise, your quest for change is like a boat without rudder. And that's why we are starting here. You have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce today with the habits you choose today. And this brings us to the deeper purpose of this book and the real reason habits matter. Building a better habits isn't about littering your day with life hacks. It's not about flossing one tooth each night or taking a cold shower each morning or wearing the same outfit each day. It's not about achieving external measures of success like earning more money, losing weight, and reducing stress. Habits can help you achieve all of these things, but fundamentally, they are not about having something. They are about becoming someone. Ultimately, your habits matter because they help you become the type of person you wish to be. They are the channel through which you develop your deepest beliefs about yourself. Quite literally, you become your habits. There are three levels of change: outcome change, process change, and identity change. The most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. Your identity emerges out of your habits. Every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade, expand your identity. The real reason habits matter is not because they can get you better results, but because they can change your beliefs about yourself. Chapter.
And that's something which is very important. You feel me? How you feel about yourself, and how you go about how you feel about yourself definitely matters. You feel me? It's gonna play into so many different type of parts in who you are and shit. Word too.
How to build better habits in 4 simple steps. In 1998, a psychologist named Edward Thorndike conducted an experiment that would lay the foundation for our understanding of how habits form and the rules that guide our behavior. Thorndike was interested in studying the behavior of animals, and he started by working with cats. He would place each cat inside a device known as a puzzle box. The box was designed so that the cat could escape through a door by some simple act, which by some simple act such as pulling at a loop of cord, pressing a lever, or stepping on a platform. For example, one box contained a lever that, when pressed, would open a door on the side of the box. Once the door had been opened, the cat would dart out and run over the bowl of food. Most cats wanted to escape as soon as they are placed inside the box. They will poke their nose into corners, stick their paws through openings, and claw at loose objects. After a few minutes of exploration, the cats would happen to press the magical lever. The door.
Let's run that back. Let's run that back.
That, when pressed, loop of cord, pressing a lever, simple act, by some simple act, he would place each cat inside a device known as a puzzle box. The box was designed so that the cat could escape through a door by some simple act, such as pulling at a loop of cord, pressing a lever, or stepping on a platform. For example, one box contained a lever that, when pressed, would open a door on the side of the box. Once the door had been opened, the cat would dart out and run over the bowl of food. Most cats wanted to escape as soon as they are placed inside the box. They would poke their nose into corners, stick their paws through openings, and claw at loose objects. After a few minutes of exploration, the cats would happen to press the magical lever. The door would open and they would escape. Thorndike tracked the behavior. Oh my god, I think somebody texted me. Thorndike tracked the behavior of each cat across many trials. In the beginning, the animals move around the box at random, but as soon as the lever had been pressed and the door opened, the process of learning began. Gradually, each cat... What the hell? Oh my gosh. Is everything good? Okay. The beginnings. The animals moved around the box at random, but as soon as the lever had been pressed and the door opened, the process of learning began. Gradually, each cat learned to associate the action of pressing the lever with the reward of escaping the box and getting to the food. After 20 to 30 trials, the behavior became so automatic and habitual that the cat could escape within a few seconds. For example, Thorndike noted cat 12 took the following times to perform the act: 160 seconds, 30 seconds, 90 seconds, 60, 15, 28, 20, 30, 22, 11, 15, 20, 12, 10, 14, 10, 8, 8, 5, 10, 8, 6, 6, 7. During the first trials, the cat escaped in an average of 1.5 minutes. During the last 3 trials, it escaped in an average of 6.3 seconds. With practice, each cat made fewer errors, and their actions became quicker and more automatic rather than repeat the same mistakes. That cat began to cut straight to the solution. From his studies, Thorndike described the learning process by stating behaviors followed by satisfying consequences tend to be repeated, and those that produce unpleasant consequences are less likely to be how habits form in our own lives. It also provides answers to some fundamental questions like what are habits and why does the brain bother building them at all? Why your brain builds habits. A habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic.
Yeah.
The process of habit formation begins the trial and error. Whenever you encounter a new situation in life, your brain has to make a decision. How do I respond? How do I respond to this? The first time you come across a problem, you're not sure how to solve it. Like Thorndike's cats. You're just trying things out to see what works. Neurological activity in the brain is high during this period. You are casually analyzing the situation and making conscious decisions about how to act. You're taking in tons of new information and trying to make sense of it all. The brain is busy learning the most effective course of action. Occasionally, like a cat pressing on a lever, you stumble across a solution. You're feeling anxious and you discover that going for a run calms you down. You're mentally exhausted from a long day of work and you learn that playing video games releases you. You're exploring, and then bam, an award. After you stumble upon an unexpected reward, you alter your strategy for next time. Your brain immediately begins to catalog the events that preceded the reward. Wait a minute, that felt good.
Right, facts,
What did I
facts,
do
facts.
right before that? This is the feedback loop behind all human behavior. Try, fail, learn. Try differently. With practice, the useless movements fade away and the useful actions get reinforced. That's habit forming. Whenever you face a problem, repeated, your brain begins to automate the process of solving it. Your habits are just a series of automatic solutions that solve problems and stresses you face regularly. As behavioral scientist Jason Hare, Jason Reha writes, habits are simply reliable solutions to reoccurring problems in our environment. As habits are created, the level of activity in the brain decreases. You learn to lock in on the cues that predict success and tune out everything else.
Right.
When a similar situation arises in the future, you know exactly what to look for. There is no longer a need to analyze every single situation. Your brain skips the process of trial and error and creates a mental rule: if this, then that. These cognitive scripts
bro.
can be followed automatically whenever the situation is appropriate. Now, whenever you feel stress, you get the itch to run. As soon as you walk in the door from work, you grab the video game controller. A choice that once required is now automatic. A habit has been created. Habits are mental shortcuts learned from experience. In a sense, a habit is just a memory of the steps you previously followed to solve a problem in the past. Whenever the conditions are right, you can draw on this memory and automatically apply the same solution. The primary reason the brain remembers the past is to better predict what will work in the future. Habit formation is incredibly useful because the conscious mind is
It's like your brain is like literally a whole nother person. It's like your brain is literally like a whole intern, manager, horrible accountant maybe, depending on the person. Like it's all of that in one, but you chose it every time. Like you chose who to like hire every single time. You know what I'm saying? That's the habits. The habits is the motherfucker we kept hiring. Our brain is holding. God damn, boy, it's crazy how he said what was one how it's the book said what was once a thought is now automatic. That's a fact.
Neck of the brain. It can only pay attention
We
to
have about
one
15 more
random at
minutes,
a
y'all.
time. As a result, your brain is always working to preserve your continuous attention for whatever task is most essential. Whenever possible, the conscious mind likes to pawn off tasks to the non-conscious mind to do automatically. This is precisely what happens when a habit is formed. Habits reduce cognitive load and free up mental capacity so you can allocate your attention to other tasks. Despite their efficiency, some people will wonder about the benefits of habits. The argument goes like this: will habits make life dull? I don't want to pigeonhole myself into a lifestyle I don't enjoy. Doesn't so much routine take away the vibrancy and spontaneity? How do I pronounce that? Spontaneity. Spawn. Oftentimes, when I don't know what a word is pronounced, I get to look at how it's pronounced and what it even means.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity. The condition of being spontaneous. Spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity. Spontaneity.
That's funny how anytime you hear like something like that on a Google Translate and how they say it, you try to say it like they did and in the tone of voice of them, spontaneity. Or if it's a female, spontaneity. You try to do that, he'll spontaneity. I don't know. Am I high? Of course.
Spontaneity of life. Hardly such questions set up a false what does that mean? Dichotomy. A false dichotomy. What does that mean? A dichotomy. A division or contrast between two things that are or represented as being opposed or entirely different. Repeated branching into two equals. Dichotomy. They make you think that you have to choose between building habits and attaining freedom. In reality, the two complement each other. Habits do not restrict freedom, they create it. In fact, the people who don't have their habits handled are often the ones with the least amount of freedom. Without good financial habits, you will always be struggling for the next dollar. Without good health habits, you will always seem to be short on energy. Without good learning habits, you will always feel like you're behind the curve. If you're always being forced to make decisions about simple tasks, when should I work out? Where do I go to write? When do I pay bills? Then you have less time for freedom. It's only by making the fundamentals of life easier that you can create the mental space needed for free thinking and creativity. Conversely, it's like everybody. It's like when I'm trying to read, shit start happening. Like damn, I had all day,
bro.
Conversely, when you have your habits dialed in and the basics of life are handled and done, your mind is free to focus on new challenges and master the next set of problems. Building habits is the present, allows you to do more of what you want to in the future. The science of how habits work. The process of building a habit can be divided into 4 simple steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. Breaking it down into these fundamental parts can help us understand what a habit is, how it works, and how to improve it. This is the demonstration that they talk about. Figure 5, all habits proceed through 4 stages in the same order: cue, craving, response, and reward. This 4-step pattern is the backbone of every habit, and your brain runs through these steps in the same order each time. First, there is the cue. The cue triggers your brain to initiate a
let you know what my cue is right now. When this bitch get empty, close to empty, that's my cue. What's my craving? Oh shit, we gotta smoke again. What's my response? Time to re-up. What's my reward?
Behavior. It is a behavior. It is a bit information that predicts a reward. Our prehistoric ancestors were paying attention to cues that signaled the location of primary rewards like food, water, and sex. Today, we spend most of our time learning cues that predict secondary towards like money and fame, power, and status. Praise and approval, love and friendship, or a sense of personal satisfaction. Of course, these pursuits also indirectly improve our odds of survival and reproduction, which is the deeper motive behind everything we do. Your mind is continuously analyzing your internal and external environment for hints of where rewards are located, because the cue is the first indication that we're close to a reward. It naturally leads to a craving. Cravings are the second step, and they are the motivational force behind every habit. Without some level of motivation or desire, without craving a change, we have no reason to act. We have no reason to act. What you crave is not the habit itself, but the change in state it delivers. You do not crave smoking a cigarette. You crave the feeling of relief it provides. You are not motivated by brushing your teeth, but rather by the feeling of a clean mouth. You do not want to turn on the television. You want to be entertained. Every craving is linked to a desire to change your internal state. This is an important that we will discuss in detail later. Cravings differ from person to person. In theory, any piece of information could trigger a craving, but in practice, people are not motivated by the same cues. For a gambler, the sound of slot machines can be a potent trigger that sparks an intense wave of desire. For someone who rarely gambles, the jingles and chimes of the casino are just background noise. Cues are meaningless until they are interpreted. The thoughts, feelings, and emotions of the observer are what transform a cue into craving. The third step is the response. The response is the actual habit you perform, which can take the form of a thought or an action. Whether a response occurs depends on how motivated you are and how much friction is associated with the behavior. If a particular action requires more physical or mental effort than you are willing to expend, then you won't do it. Your response also depends on your ability. It sounds simple, but a habit can occur only if you are capable of doing it. If you want to dunk a basketball but can't jump high enough to reach the hoop, well, you're out of luck. Finally, the response delivers a reward. Rewards are the end goal of every habit. The cue is about noticing the reward. The craving is about wanting the reward. The response is about obtaining the reward. We chase rewards because they serve two purposes. They satisfy us and they teach us. The first purpose of rewards is to satisfy your craving. Yes, rewards provide benefits on their own. Food and water deliver the energy you need to survive. Getting a promotion brings more money and respect. Getting in shape improves your health and your dating at prospects. But the more immediate benefit is that rewards satisfy your craving to eat or gain status or to win approval. At least for a moment, rewards deliver content and relief from craving. Second, rewards teach us which actions are worth remembering in the future. Your brain is a reward detector. As you go about your life, your sensory nervous system is continuously monitoring which actions satisfy your desires and deliver pleasure. Feelings or feelings of pleasure and disappointment are part of the feedback mechanism that helps your brain distinguish useful actions from useless ones. Rewards close the feedback loop and complete the habit cycle. If a behavior is insufficient in any of the four stages, it will not become a habit. Eliminate the cue and your habit will never start. Reduce the craving and you won't experience enough motivation to act. Make the behavior difficult and you won't be able to do it. And if the reward fails,
it's snapping. Hello.
will not become a habit. Eliminate the cue cycle. If a behavior is insufficient in any of the four stages, it will not become a habit. Eliminate the cue and your habit will never start. Reduce the craving and you won't experience enough motivation to act. Make the behavior difficult and you won't be able to do it. And if the reward fails to satisfy your desire, then you'll have no reason to do it again. The future. Without the first three steps, a behavior will not occur. I just noticed that 30 minutes might be long and shit for a person like me that likes to move, so I'm gonna continue with 20 minutes. I think I'm gonna just adjust next time. The future without the first three steps, a behavior will not occur. Without all four, a behavior will not be repeated. The habit loop: cue, craving, response, reward. The four stages of habit are best described as a feedback loop. The form an endless cycle that is as running every moment you are alive. The habit loop is continually scanning the environment, predicting what will happen next. Try out different responses and learn from the results. In summary, the cue triggers a craving, which motivates a response, which motivates a reward, which satisfies the craving, and ultimately becomes associated with the cue together. These four steps from neurological feedback loop: cue, craving, response, reward. Cue, craving, response, reward. Loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. Cue, craving, response, reward. That ultimately allows to create automatic habits. The cycle is known as the habit loop. These four steps process is not something that happens occasionally, but rather it is endless feedback loop that is running and active during every moment you are alive. Even now, the brain is continually scanning the environment, predicting what will happen next, trying out different responses, and learning from the results. The entire process is completed in a split second, and we use it again and again without realizing everything that has been packed into the previous moment. We can split these four steps into two phases: the problem phase and the solution phase. The problem phase includes the cue and the craving, and it is when you realize that something needs to change. The solution phase includes the response and the reward, and it is when you take action and achieve the change you desire. All behavior is driven by the desire to solve a problem. Sometimes the problem is that you notice something good and you want to obtain it. Sometimes the problem is that you are experiencing pain and you want to believe it. Either way, the purpose of every habit is to solve the problem you face. In the table on the following page, you can see a few examples of what this looks like in real life. Imagine walking into a dark room and flipping on a light switch. You have performed this simple habit too many times that it occurs without thinking. Facts. You proceed through all four stages in the fraction of a second. The urge to act strikes you without thinking. Cue, craving, response, reward. By the time we become adults, we really notice the habits that are running our lives. They got some examples in here. That are running our lives. Most of us never give a second thought to the fact that we tired.
So we might buy this book too, so we can see the examples and shit, like the ones we need to. You know what I mean? Well, I don't think it costs too much. It's probably like 20 to 30 bucks probably.
Shoot first every morning. Facts. Or unplug the toaster every each use, or always change into comfortable clothes after getting home from work. After decades of mental programming, we automatically slip into these patterns of thinking and acting. The four laws of behavior change. In the following chapters, we will see time again and how the four stages of cue, craving, response, and reward influence nearly everything we do each day. But before we do that, we need to transform these four steps into practical framework. that we can use to design good habits and eliminate bad ones. I refer to this framework as the four laws of behavior change, and it provides a simple set of rules for creating good habits and breaking bad and making bad ones. You can think of each law as lever that influences human behavior. When the levers are the right positions, creating good habits is effortless. When they are in the wrong positions, it is nearly impossible. It would be irresponsible for me to claim that these four laws are an exhaustive framework for changing any human behavior, but I think they're close. As you will soon see, the four laws of behavior change apply to nearly every field, from sports to politics, art to medicine, comedy to management. These laws can be used no matter what challenge you are facing. There is no need for completely different strategies for each habit. Whenever you want to change your behavior, you can simply ask yourself, how can I make it obvious? How can I make it attractive? How can I make it easy? How can I make it satisfying? If you have ever wondered why don't I do what I say I'm going to do? Why don't I lose the weight or stop smoking or save for retirement or start the
He's gonna start snapping too.
Okay? I'm on page 55 of Atomic Habits. That has been 30 minutes of reading. The reason why I am reading is because I would like to articulate myself much better than I already do. And I'll see y'all next time. Thank you.
So yeah, here we are. And I guess the reason why I'm watching these videos, cause one, like I said in the beginning, I want to read some of these books because it just so happened he's reading the Atomic Habits, and I'm currently right now fixing some shit. So it's kind of dope to, get this book read. You know what I'm saying? No weird shit, right? No weird shit, right? But it's just cool. And plus, like, I've been doing YouTube, like I said, for 6 months, bro. 6 months. I think I've been relatively consistent too. I feel like I've been. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I've taken. I probably the longest I've taken was like a week. And like, if you ever seen like the gap between like a 2-week or 3-week gap between like the videos posted, like just the videos, check the lives, cause I be on the lives on the in between. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like I've been relatively pretty consistent, because yeah, think about it, in the 6 months I've been on here, I got over 100 videos posted. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, I run a no face page, another page, right? I do another page. I haven't, it's able to get monetized, but I haven't monetized it yet. I probably will here soon, but yeah, like I got that page, and that page got almost 100 videos. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, yeah. I feel like just hearing this book, it's just gonna help me out to just align things the way I need to align them in. You know what I'm saying? Like, even me putting this board right here and like kind of like planning things out is making it work. Cause like I said, we gonna be doing this. It's almost 1 right now. It's 12:53. We got to 1:30. Latest 2 o'clock, but I really don't want to push to 2 o'clock because I need to be working on this for you guys to be able to put this up around 2 o'clock. So yeah, talking about that, I need to actually